Hello, this video is to show you how the new min and max windows will work as we implement ALV from our new contract. So in the past we've had the bid divisor and then min and max windows that are around that. Now as we move into the new contract, ALV is the number that we're focused on. This goes active for the planning month of October, so we will be bidding for this in September. Just as before, we had the normal min and max windows. We have those in moving forward with ALV. However, they're defined slightly differently and they operate very differently in PBS than they have in the past. So the normal window is centered around ALV. It's -7 ALV to +7 ALV. So that includes a 14-hour bracket. If we were, let's say the ALV for a particular class was 80 hours, that would be from 73 to 87. Then we separate into the smaller windows, the min and max windows. The min window is defined as -7 ALV to ALV. So if ALV was 80, this would be 73 to 80. And then the max window is from ALV to ALV +7, or 80 to 87. So as we bid, if we bid the normal window and we don't bid min or max, really there's no change to how your bid is processed. If you bid min or max in the past, this wasn't really a deniable bid preference, nor did it carry any weight in terms of how your bid was processed. That is changing as we implement ALV. So now, if I want to have weekends off and I want to bid max, the max window, my credit must land within ALV to ALV +7. If it does not, and that's my first preference, it will deny other preferences to get me within that window. Conversely, if I bid I want weekends off, and then after that I'm okay with having a max schedule, PBS will look at it and go, I can't give you a max schedule if I give you weekends off, therefore I will go ahead and use the normal window and will actually deny you the max window. We're going to look at that in a moment as we look at the PBS side of things. When you go into the web bidder, either the web app or the old UI on PBS, the info page will display the 4 ALVs for Airbus Captain, First Officer, and E190 Captain and First Officer. And then the normal min and max windows are based around that ALV. So for example, here we have Airbus A320 Captain. ALV is set to 80. The normal window is 73 to 87, just like in the other example. Min is 73 to 80, and max is 80 to 87. The threshold is a number that crew planning uses just to give PBS an aiming point within the window. That number is always in the middle of the window, and they can adjust that to maintain -1 to +1 ALV for the entire solution. So how do these new windows process in PBS? In the past, if I put min or max in my bid, it was really a guideline, just like that threshold number was that we described on the previous slide. PBS was aiming for a number. However, it wasn't bound by that. As long as you landed between -5 and +5 of the threshold, so say, for example, 70 to 80, then PBS was satisfied that you were a line holder and it was done processing. In the world of ALV, normal window is -7 to +7 of ALV. If you don't put min or max credit window in your bid anywhere, PBS is going to process just as it has in the past. It'll work top down. Can I give this guy 4, 5, and 6 and give him a line that fits within that window, yes or no? And deny it appropriately depending on what's available at your seniority to build you a line. If I add max credit, in the past, again, that was just a guideline. Now it matters where this is placed in your bid. So in this example, I have max credit listed first. I'm telling PBS I want a max credit schedule above all other conditions. It is possible that PBS would deny your prefer offs, your weekends, your red eyes. Any item it can deny, it will do so in order to get you into your max credit window. Now, that's not to say that your seniority isn't able to hold all of these things. In a situation where I have max credit window as my last preference, now I'm telling PBS, look, I want the 4th, 5th, and 6th off. I want weekends off. I don't want red eyes. I don't want these layovers. If you can meet all of these requirements and then get me in the max credit window, do so. I'm telling PBS I would rather have these days off and these weekends off, all these items that I have above the max credit window. I would rather have those than be in the max credit window, and that allows PBS to use the normal window. Then it will deny the max credit window, and PBS will process this in the normal credit window if it needs to. Obviously, you can use this in any position you want. So for example, you're willing to tolerate red eyes and these layovers to be in the max credit window, but you're not willing to work on weekends or on these particular days. Another thing to consider, and it's an easier explanation with the min credit, so let's go ahead and add a min credit window in here. Let's say I select min credit. Now again, the placement is important. It's not as likely that it's going to have to deny a prefer off or a weekend to get you to a lower credit. It is possible, however, it depends on the scenario. But what is more likely is that PBS will find trips that are of lower priority to get you into that window. So for example, in this scenario, I have longer trips. I'm a commuter, so I prefer 5 days and 4 days and 3 days and 2 days. In a case where I've bid min credit, the combination of trips may be such that to keep me in that window, it's going to need to use a lower priority trip, and it may bypass some of these higher trips that are available to me to get me to fit inside that window. So structuring your bid accordingly is kind of important. You want to give yourself some wiggle room in your award statements so that the puzzle pieces will fit in that smaller 7-hour window as opposed to the larger 14-hour window that's the normal window. Either the min credit window or max credit window has to be above your first award pairing statement. Thanks for watching. You can find more information through these resources.